Libyan journalist and political activist Ashur Shamis joins us now live from London. Welcome to the programme. Great to speak to you once again. Now, I've seen images of people celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Libyan Uprising in Tripoli and Benghazi, and yet we've seen so much conflict over this past decade. Do people feel happier now than under Muammar Gaddafi?
What you see is an expression of life. You know, the revolutionaries and the revolution is still alive in Libya. The counter-revolution played a very important role over the last maybe 5 years, 6 years, to crush down the revolution altogether. And they wanted to make it a thing of the past, but they have failed. The people are still fighting. The people are still raising the same hopes and ambitions as ever. And despite the very strong counter-revolution, which was headed by people like Haftar and outside forces like the Emirates and France and Russia and so on, despite all that, the revolution is still alive and kicking. And this is what is very important. Now, of course, we are in a state where everything is scattered all over the place. We are trying to, as it were, collect the bones of the revolution and try to put the body again together. And this is a task that's going to take a long time and a real sincere effort on behalf of the Libyans themselves.
And putting the country together. On that point, the UN Secretary General has really stressed the importance of holding elections and also upholding the ceasefire. Are you confident that these two things can take place?
You can't be confident about what happens in Libya. Everything is still possible. You have to look at what has been achieved and build on it. Now, what has been achieved recently is that the fighting has stopped. A ceasefire seems to be in position. The efforts of conciliation and reconciliation and reform are to the front. People are expressing, they are expressing the emotion that they are willing to leave certain differences aside and go ahead and build a country. Mm-hmm. Now, this is the first steps that have been taken by the formation of the government and the presidency council and so on. Some sort of a beginning, a building of some sort of foundation on which you can set up and build other things like the government, the constitution, the elections, and so on and so forth. Now, if this happens and if this is allowed to take its course, its normal, natural course, it might lead up to something really substantial. Okay. By the end of this year.
By the end of this year. And how much of a hindrance would the fact that, according to the UN, there are at least 20,000 mercenaries and foreign fighters still in the country?
Exactly. This is one of the greatest, problems that the Libyans have at hand, is the mercenaries from outside Libya who are well armed, well equipped, and they are in various parts of Libya. This is something that has to be solved quickly and completely. Also, there are some other elements inside Libya itself who are still, favoring force, favoring violence. The Haftar group, you don't know exactly what they have in mind. They could very easily turn around and start fighting again. All these things have to be taken into account and have to be really judged from where they are now. Where are they? Who are they supporting? What are they doing exactly? And without this, it will be very difficult to see how Libya can move forward.
And I just want to paint a picture of an ideal Libya moving forward. I find it such a fascinating fact that it has just around 8 million people, and yet the biggest oil reserves in Africa, in the top 10, among the top 10 in the world. Potentially, how wealthy could this country be if peace were established?
I think everybody is asking the same question, because it's a land which is really a form of treasure in its resources, in its vast area, in its abilities to do things, and the population is very small. So it's a country, like somebody said, it's a land without people really, and no government. But this is a shameful situation, and the Libyans have to, get themselves moving forward and build the country in the right way. If Libya is really built to some sort of normality, it can be a very, very positive element in the region, and it can be beneficial to all its neighbors and to Southern Europe, which is very, very near to Libya. France, Italy, Greece, all these countries have a benefit in the well-being of Libya itself. So now, if we can move forward with the help of Turkey, of course, on the civilian projects, on the civil side of life, these governments we form, and these parliaments we form, if they don't have a plan to build the country, then it will be a waste of time.
All right. Thank you so much, Ashur Shamis, political and Libyan journalist, joining us from London. We really appreciate your time, as always.